Shwmae, I am Renfeldy, American-British fiber artist and writer, and today I want to do a little show and tell. I want to do 2025 reflections and 2026 aspirations. So reflecting on the past year and what I'm doing moving forward into the new year. Mainly related to fiber arts, but I'll probably share some of my personal goals also going into the new year. I'm going to do this a little differently than if you look at most people. Most people, it's like the 2020, everything I've made in 2025, and then they try on the outfits. I originally was going to do that. I'm not going to try everything I have made because I still do not have a working boiler. I won't go into too much about this because I will start crying, but we haven't had a working boiler in 2 weeks, which is really upsetting, especially because we're renting, and we have a baby. It's supposed to be fixed in the first 48 hours. Yep. I don't know what else to say. Oh, it's also below freezing in our own house, so that's really nice. But I've already had my morning cry about it, so hopefully talking about some fiber arts will cheer me up. I will not be going into talking about any frogged items unless it's relevant to the project, which I don't think there is any this year, and I won't be talking about any current work in progress because I don't really count them until I finish them, and that if I haven't finished them in 2025, hopefully I'll get around to 2026. But yeah, I have my Ravelry page down below me so I can go through my items, and some projects I have little videos about them, so I probably won't go into too much detail about the projects that have their own videos. I'll just link the video, but I'll do a quick summary. So, the first project of the year, I finished this on January 8th, and this is my retro striped sweater. Also, the Stripes of Stripes by I'm gonna miss it, all these names. So if you actually want useful information, go to my Ravelry page. But I'll attempt my best. Bronagh Miskelly, and this was in Simply Knitting magazine, the issue 249, which also is the April of 2024 issue. So I used the recommended yarn and needles for it. The yarn was West Yorkshire Spinners Colourway DK, and I have it in pink, which you can see, and then the darker, more purpley pink is in the colorway Very Berry. I made the size 10, which when I started making this in 2024. I didn't finish it until the beginning of 2025. I was more of a size 10. This would have fit, probably would have been a little bit more oversized. Obviously, when I did finish it, I was heavily pregnant, and now I'm postpartum. But I've started wearing it. It's more my size now. I wore it on Christmas, and I've worn it a couple times before and after. I will say the yarn is kind of scratchy. It's not too bad for me if I wear a camisole underneath, but if you have more sensitive skin, like if this was on my face, I wouldn't be able to wear it. Also, the whole sweater I did do in twisted rib or twisted knitting because I didn't know I was twisting my stitches. There is some, I don't know if you can see, there's some pilling, but I'm not too bugged about pilling. I don't know, it's maybe I just really don't care enough. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend this pattern for beginners. This was my first sweater and like my first big knitting project, and I wouldn't recommend it. I think it says it's for beginners, but It can be, but if you don't know how to read patterns very well, then I wouldn't consider it beginner friendly. I do want to make more of these in the future. It's not on my 2026 goal. I do have the pattern. I do like the way the stripes look, and I do like paneled sweaters. So in the future I will want to make more in different colorways, but it's not on my list. My next project is my pink gingham blanket, which the pattern is Pink Gingham Blanket by Tiffany Brown. I think she goes by a different name. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. Let me see. Daisy Farm Crafts. Okay, there we go. So this is from Daisy Farm Crafts. The pattern's on YouTube. Super simple. I'm not a beginner when it comes to crocheting. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but it is nice. I always like a turn off my brain fiber art project, and this was my turn off brain. It did take me about a year. I finished this on January 12th, and I started it in February, the end of February in 2024. The main reason what pushed me to finish this was for my own baby, so he could have a blanket that I can like put on the ground, or put on the ground. I used either a J or H hook. I don't know. I think I used the J to not cast on, make my chains, and then H for everything else. And I used Robin's DK weight yarn, which I got at Charlie's, which is like, it's like I think it's mainly an outside store. Like they do patio furniture, seeds, plants, all that, but they had some yarn and it's really cheap. It was like £1 for a ball, and I don't know the different colors. They all are labeled pink, but it's pink 46, pink 52, and pink 147. And I used about 3 skeins of each. I do have a note that, so my finished project is 16 squares by 20 squares, which I just crocheted a chain until I felt like that was long enough. And if anyone else is planning on making a blanket like this, I would recommend doing 20 squares by 30 squares. Just because this is more of a baby blanket size or lap blanket, like on the couch. It's a single person blanket. If I'm trying to sit on the couch and watch a TV show with my partner, we can't really both get under it. You probably have seen this blanket in my other videos. I don't really use this blanket right now. My baby has a playpen, and on the other side of his playpen is the TV, but I don't want him getting a lot of screen time. So I just lay this over the playpen and clip it into place so he can't watch TV. Overall, really liked. I probably won't make it again. Nothing against the pattern or anything. I constantly forget how much I don't like making blankets. I don't have the patience for them, and it takes like a year to finish, if not longer. This is probably the quickest blanket I've ever finished. So yeah, I don't like making blankets. The next one is back to a little baby cardigan, and this was because I didn't have any cardigans, believe it or not, for my baby. So this is the Flisa Cardigan by Courtney Walters, but I got this pattern off YouTube. So if I can find her YouTube, name that would probably be more, probably should have gotten this up in the first place, but Kabura Knits. I'll link the actual pattern, but it's nice having a YouTube video for projects, and I believe you can buy the pattern as well if you prefer. I did do some altercations, but the yarn I used was leftover yarn from his baby blanket, which is Knit Picks Shine Sport in cream, and then I held that with made at Rowan alpaca haze in the colorway 16, which is cocoa, which is so soft. And yeah, the main thing is I didn't add buttons to it. I didn't feel like I needed buttons. It was more like a throw-on cardigan, and I was worried about it. And also, if I'm making anything, I make a clean edge, if you can see, so it looks like a crochet chain, which is slipping if you're doing garter stitch for the button band, slipping the first stitch purlwise, and you'll get a nice clean edge, which is always nice. But yeah, this is what he used to be able to fit into. Oh, my partner just came in and brought me some tea and a hot water bottle, which is Lammy. Her name is Lammy, which is very sweet because it is very cold. Okay, the next project is a hand-drafted, nothing special, clothespin bag. I actually finished this really quickly. It took me 10 days in March to make, and it's simply because with the baby, if you have a baby, you know their clothes is all air dry. At the place I was saying, this was when I lived in Wales, and we did have a dryer. I miss it. I miss having a dryer, I'll be honest. I know it's not great for the environment, but I do miss having a dryer. So with hanging up all his clothes, I needed clothespins to hold on to the little baby socks, and I needed something to keep all my clothespins with, so I just crocheted a little bag to sit on my drying rack or air. I used some leftover yarn, which is for colorway lavender, and the carry 1 pound. I used a 4mm crochet hook, or G, because that is my favorite. And these buttons were just buttons I had left over, same with the yarn. Honestly nothing special, but I use it like every day, and I'm very proud of myself for just making it. I know you can buy them, but I had the yarn. I had all this stuff already. I didn't have to buy anything, and it worked up really fast, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory on how I made this. But if you do want one, I wouldn't like make an official pattern or anything. Just if you want to make one, I can just tell you how I did it. It won't be a very well written pattern though, or communicating, or probably be a lot of information and trying my best to explain my thought process. But I'm not a pattern writer at all, and I don't think I ever will be. I might, but I don't think so. Next, I made washcloths. I made 6 washcloths. I started making the washcloths April 1st and finished my last washcloth May 9th. So about a month of washcloths. They're really easy. It's the pattern's like grandma's favorite washcloth. It's knitted. I did use straight needles. I don't have them currently with me because they are in a box somewhere, because I've yet to unpack everything and I haven't used them since. But they're 4.5s, and the reason I use them is because they're pretty ones. I got them, they were like the free gift in the Simply Knit magazine that I purchased, which my retro striped sweaters from. I don't have all of them with me because I've gifted some, because I don't need that many washcloths. But yeah, I wanted to work on my knitting. I had found out I was knitting twisted, so I wanted to just practice knitting, and it also gave me I finished a project and it only took like a week or a day or whatnot, so I felt really good about completing it, and it was something I could work on with my baby. I didn't have to worry about needles all over, and it was quite simple forward. I had the pattern memorized. This was all yarn. I had it in stash that I bought ages ago. I used the Lily Sprints Sugar and Cream Scrub Off, and it's called that because, as you can see, it's cotton here, and then like I don't know what it's called, a scrubbing material, perfect for washcloth, which I bought it for originally. I used the color Deep Gray, which this is the Deep Gray. The other one is pink. I think it's just called pink. Sweet pink, excuse me. And the last one, this one is a little mix match one, but I believe I gave all my purple ones away. But it's pretty purple, which is this one. This is the Deep Gray, and the end, this is the sweet pink. But overall, really simple. Enjoyed a lot. And it was fun just to make a bunch of washcloths. I felt good, and easy projects to knit on the go. Okay, now we are getting into my projects that I filmed YouTube videos about. This is my summer top, also known as the Saffrine top by Audrey Borgo. It is a free pattern. I recommend it. You don't have to do stripes, obviously. I did stripes with different colors. So the main color is pistachio, and then there is Florida pink, which is $4.60, and then also a just regular pink, which is $7.63. And then and then there's the edging, which is just pink at $7.66, I believe. I think I did those colors right. But the main thing I would change, if I could change anything about this, if you can see, is I wish I would have done some bust darts, but I ran out of yarn. This is the Sidar Snuggly 100% cotton yarn because I need a good cotton top for summer. And I do have a project vlog of me making this. This project was nice. It was, this top, just in yarn, cost me $18.60 to make, which I think is really nice. And it took me 39 days to make, and with that I had a baby. So that's fun. With me. So I will have a picture up. And this is also a project vlog that I have, which is my first pair of socks. So if you actually want to see them, I have a whole video about it, which is the Verena DK Socks. And this was a I don't know what to call it, a kit maybe from Lidl. It was $4.99, which included 2 balls of yarn to make 2 socks, and the pattern was on the inside. Did I say the pattern name? This is the Verena DK Socks. Same with the yarn. The yarn is Vera in the colorway beige brown. I do have leftover yarn and started making a pair of socks for my partner. I've stopped that. Those are current whips. I don't know how much yarn these socks took. I made in a size 29 European and I gifted them to my sister. So yeah, if you want to see all about that, I have a project, and this was from July 11th to 24th. My next project, I believe, is this big boy. Yes, I'm right. So this is the Lovette Sweater by Femco, or might be the label. which again, I have a vlog for it. This was actually supposed to be my first project vlog, and then it wasn't. So this is a big project. It is a heavy sweater, and I started working on this in December 12th. So again, 2 months before I gave birth, and I finished it on August 28th. So it took a bit. I used the main colorway. The brown is King Cole Merino Blend in DK, and that is the color Chestnut, or 3089. And then I have 2 different pinks. The darker pink is Rose, color 80, and Drop Studio Charisma. And the lighter pink is 84, Desert Rose, in the same yarn, which is Drops Charisma. They're both DK. So yeah, this, I have a lot to say about this. I don't know if it's me. This was a pattern, a test knit, and I didn't finish on time. I did give birth, and then it just kind of sat there because I was so frustrated with it. I didn't make the size 2XL. Fire alarm's coming off, and I'm pretty sure that's because my partner is cooking. It happens all the time. He doesn't like putting the fan on. If you know, yeah, he doesn't like putting the fan on, so steam. And with it being no heating, we don't want to open windows. So yeah, this is when I found out I was doing twisted knit. I believe you can even see where I realized I was doing twisted knit, and then I stopped. I like the color work. In my video I talk about some changes I would make to just what color I have given priority. This was supposed to be a collar, a higher collar with twisted, or higher collar with a rolled edge, and I folded that down, and I didn't do that on the sleeves as well. I just did. And I added some color. I changed the way the sleeves, because the sleeves weren't fitting, and I don't really like the way the sleeves turned out. I don't know if I want to frog them and start over, but I just feel like it looks not very pretty. The ribbing at the end curls up, and I don't know why. I think I need to block this. I usually wouldn't. Usually sweaters I don't really block because I feel like they block themselves when you wear it, but this one just doesn't, and that's why I think I need to block it again. I don't know if it's because of the color work in the yoke, but it, like, I don't know if you can see, it gives me such slopey shoulders, and I already have slopey shoulders. You can see it, so I don't need something. I don't like the look of me with slopey shoulders. So I don't know if I need to try to block it or just put it on a hanger and let it stretch it out a bit. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna chuck it in the washer and lay it out flat and hope it fixes it. But I don't know. I have another pattern from Mippy the Label, and no hate to her, but I just didn't enjoy it. It was so tailored. I know it was a pattern test, but it was so tailored to someone wearing a smaller size. And me and people who were bigger or working on bigger sizes did say, like, hey, this isn't lining up right, and it wasn't really changed from what I can see. So yeah, like, this, if you can see, this is quite cropped because this is to the top of my baby bump. So, and that's longer than, that's the length she called for in her pattern. So if I continue, if I, like, with this length, that won't even cover my stomach. And the sleeves were so, as you can see, they come down, and I had them not come down as much as they originally called for, because if I had it come down all the way to what she said, I couldn't even fit my wrist over it. Like, I couldn't fit my hand in. So I made it bigger, but I just don't like the way it looks. It just looks so balloony, and I understand that's kind of the thing, but yeah, I'm not a fan. I've worn it like once or twice, so I'm hoping to block it and try again. And then, I don't know, I really like it. I like the memories attached to it. I like being able to wear it and be like, this is where my baby bump came to. I love that so much. But I'm just not wearing it, and I want to be able to wear it. So if you have any advice about the edge, rolling edge, and the shoulders, do I just need to block it, or is there something else I need to do? The next project, I started this. I didn't finish it yet. I have finished, but I made 12 pairs, and I'll include some pictures, and I have a video of this as well. 12 pairs of vanilla DK socks in the yarn Bo Peep Luxury Baby in colorway Spellbound, and these are 50-gram balls, and I can look up the type of yarn because I don't remember. 52 wool, 48% nylon. Yeah, so sock yarn. Really soft, but I just don't like DK socks, I've learned, which I'll talk about that in the future. But these were Christmas presents for my family members who celebrated Christmas, and I made 12 pairs of them, all in variety of sizes. I started my first sock August 18th and finished my last sock December 25th. So this took me ages, and the rest of the projects I worked with making socks as well, because I made the socks in hiding. I didn't tell anyone I was making the socks. So while I was making the socks, I made a bonnet for my baby, again using leftover yarn from his baby blanket. I talk about this in another video, and my winter knits that I made for my baby. This bonnet was a free pattern. It's the Kirsten baby bonnet by Agnes Braldels. I love this. He wears this every day. He does not like hats, but he will wear this. I started this on September 4th, finished it on September 7th. It worked up so fast. Again, I used the Knit Picks Shine Sport, and it's so soft, and I just love it. He looks so cute. I do have his face hidden in the photos, but I can show you and you can just feel the cuteness. But yeah, in the future I'll definitely make bigger sizes. Not the same yarn, I ran out of this yarn, but I'll make different bigger sizes because he wears this now this winter, especially without heating. Inside, outside, he wears this all the time. He doesn't wear it to bed, obviously, when I'm sleeping as well, because that's not safe. But taking naps and just inside. He's not wearing it now, but yeah, I love it. He looks so cute, and I would really recommend because it's amazing. The main difference I made is I just did an I-cord bind off on the bottom and used I-cord tails. I just felt like it gave it a more solid, I don't know, bottom edge. So yeah, but I think it's adorable. The next project going with the bonnet is some mittens I made. Same yarn, everything. I just added I-cord to attach them. He does not wear these. He does not like mittens, I will be honest. If I put these mittens on it, he will take them off somehow. He'll bite them off, chuck them off. They do not last. So I have pram suits where the top folds over, and that's usually what I put him in. If he falls asleep on a walk, I can put the mittens on him, but otherwise these mittens are not gonna stay on. It was a really fast knit. It was from September 13th to 20th, and these are the teeny tiny knit mitts by We Knit Together. But yeah, he doesn't like them. He wants to be able to play with stuff, and that's fair. Okay, the next project I have is the Tweedy Junior sweater by Bronagh, which I think is like hedgehog fibers, right? Let me double check this, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, hedgehog fibers. And this is cute. that's it. It took a month to make, from October 4th to November 3rd. I used King Cole's Cotton Soft DK Weight yarn in the color Honey. It's not honey, I think it should be called chai. And I used 4mm knitting needles, and I don't think I made any alterations. I do have a video of this. The Tweedy Junior video is also the one where I talk about all my winter knits that I made for my baby. But yeah, he wears this a lot. I didn't make it in a bigger size than what he is, so he can grow into it. I believe it's like 1 to 2 years. So it is quite big, but that works out great because I can put it over stuff, and he wears it over like everything. But I would really recommend it because it's so nice. It goes with so much. It goes with like everything, which is nice. And the project didn't cost me as much as I thought it would. It cost me about £10 to make, which isn't bad. And while I was making the Tweedy Junior sweater, I spun some wool. This is my first ever, I don't know, hand spun wool, which you can see because it's got some curlies, and I don't think I'll ever make anything out of it, because it's just my first ever spin. I joined my local guild of weavers, spinners, and dyers, which is so exciting, and I've been a official member since November, so only a little bit. I went to their Christmas event, but I've been going to their meeting since August, and I've really enjoyed it. I'm so glad I found them. And I don't have a wheel, but I hope in the future I can get one because I really enjoy doing this, and I want to be able to spin my own yarn in the future. My goal is to be able to make my own yarn from head to toe in the future, but that is not on my 2026 goals. That is just a way out future. And then that's it for my finished projects. Because then I finished this, and that's it. That equals actually 30 projects I made. And before I move on to the next step of talking about what I want to make in 2026, I'd like to point out that though I made 30 projects, 12 of them were the same socks. One of them is spinning, and a lot of these, almost all of these, are from, I didn't start them. Now it's on to my 2026 aspirations. I made a little digital like vision board about everything I want to make, and I posted that on Instagram and on Substack. Substack is a platform where you can, I also have my blog, Little Pink Diary. So if you want to read my blog, I write a lot of poetry and short stories, but recently I've been writing a lot of poetry about being a mom and how that feels to me, or a mother, or mom, or whatever. But yeah. So I'll start with my fiber art crafts, or fiber art goals for 2026, and then I'll move into more personal stuff, which is only about two or three. So my first thing is I want to make the Woodpile Socks. It is fingering weight yarn. It's by Bethany, actually. Let me double check because I don't have the, I'm looking at my, oh my goodness. Okay, give me a second. Yes, Bethany Hill. I was right. It's fingering weight, and I think they look cute and I want to make them. I realized I'm not a big fan I'm not a big fan of DK weight socks, and those are the main socks I made this year. So moving in next year, I want to have a pair of socks for myself. The next is I want to make the Crochet Pie seat cushion by Tweedy Junior. I want to make 4 of them. I want to make one that's a cherry pie, one that is a blueberry pie, one that's a pecan pie, and one that's an apple pie. I'll probably make a video about this as well because it's going to include pattern modifications for all the different types. I love Tweedy Junior. Tweedy Junior got me involved in crocheting and really influenced me when I first started as a kid. And I do feel like I've been neglecting crocheting a lot recently. I've been focused on knitting, so I want to go back to that. And I love the playfulness and cheerfulness of her art, and I want to include that in my home so my kid can have that. And then the next is the 2, I want to knit 2, and they're called Blue Moods sweaters, but I don't want to knit them in blue. I do want to knit them in like a cream color, and I want to do 2 for myself, one for me and one for my partner. And this is from a Simply Knit magazine, and it's by Sylvia Hedger, but on Ravelry I think she goes by, oh gosh, how do I say this? Ballet Rio Cuts? I don't think that's right. But yeah, I do feel like with becoming parents, obviously that has changed our dynamic in our relationship, and I want to make sure I'm taking time to prioritize my partner and show him that I do appreciate him. And what better way than to make us knitting sweaters? I've actually never knit a sweater for my partner. I'm going to cover my ears and pretend that the sweater curse doesn't exist. And I guess we'll see. That's me attempting the sweater curse. But I think it'll be cute, and it's something he can wear to work as well. And then the last knitting, I believe, the last official knitting plan I have on my 2026 goal is knitting the Very Cute Jumper, which is again from a Simple Knit magazine, and this is by Chloe Elizabeth Birch, and it's just adorable. I want to make sure I really like making knits for my baby, and this is on my pattern up my alley, and I want him to be able to wear something and that I made and look absolutely incredibly adorable. I also have some projects on my Ravelry queue. A lot of that is play food for my baby. It's also the cinema sweater by Kuka Lakika because I feel like that would be comfy, a Christmas sweater, and then some mittens. I would really like to make a pair of mittens, but those are all more back burners compared to the ones I just shared, which are my main 2026 goals for knitting. I don't want to make too many goals because, as I said, a lot of the projects I made in 2025 I've already started a lot of projects this year. So I know I said I wouldn't really get into it, and I'm not going to talk about it too much, so I'm just going to list off some stuff that I've started that I want to finish, which is the Daydream Cardigan by Kuka Lakika, which that's it. I'm making my own video about that, but that will come out in the future because I'm still working on it. I want to make 3 more pairs of socks of this colorway, Spellbound in the Vanilla DK Socks by Crazy Sock Lady. I want to make a pair for myself, a pair for my partner, and then I'll use a different pattern, but a pair for my baby so we can match with the family. I started making another cardigan for my baby, a more neutral brown. So I started that near the end of November, and I want to finish that off so he can have that. I also started knitting a shawl for my sister. It's my own pattern. She had some yarn. She said I'll put a picture of what I drew based off what she described on what she wanted, and I'm trying my best to do that, and I want to finish that as well. And my goal is to have that finished before being able to give it to her. I have to mail it, so it's going to take some time. Give that to her a little bit before spring, near the end of winter, so she can wear it in springtime, because that's the perfect time to wear it. But those are my current whips that I would like to finish as well. I would like to finish in 2026. I didn't count them on my goal because they're not new cast-ons. And now I have 2/3 main personal goals, so this is a lot more personal. The main one, which is straight just 2026, and then at the end of 2026 I'll reflect on that and see. But I want to trying my best to be vegetarian. With having my baby, I have never known love like this, and it has altered the way I interact with the world, and I want to give him the absolute best life I can, and that means having some self-reflection on my actions and their impact on the world. And also I absolutely love nursing my baby, which has made me reflect on the dairy industry as well. I'm not going vegan. My favorite food is cheese, but when I can, I'm trying to also have more soy products. So instead of soy yogurt, soy milk, and all that stuff, I don't think I'll be able to go vegan because I love cheese. But making small alterations like milk and yogurt and all that stuff. And I think everyone knows why people usually go vegan, and the standpoint, I don't want to be a broken record, and I'm not saying that just because I'm doing it. I think other people should do it. I know it doesn't fit for everyone. I'm very lucky to be in where I am right now. I am able to be vegetarian due to my health, meeting my personal nutritional goals along with my financial standpoint. So yeah, I also want to make sure I'm kind to myself. I might not be vegetarian every day. There might be days where I eat meat, and I want to be kind and not feel like a failure just because I have meat one day. It's being conscious about my decisions and making sure I'm making ethical choices when I am able to. So yeah, that's that. The next goal is I want to roller skate. I have two goals for myself. I'm currently 23, and by 25 I want to be sufficient in roller skating, and I want to be able to touch my toes. I have never been able to touch my toes. That's a fun fact about Ren. And so I've been doing daily stretches. I've started this when I turned 23, and yeah, so I'm gonna get roller skates this year. I've been watching videos, I've been doing exercises, and so this year I'm gonna get roller skates and I'm gonna test it out. So yeah, those are, I think, my main goals for 2026. And moving forward, I'm a little upset that this year is starting off in such a cold home, and I'm hoping it's not a reflection of the year. It also, 2026 is a scary year for me because my visa expires in August. And unfortunately I do not meet one of the requirements for a new visa, which is very, very scary. I have had many sleepless nights. Speaking of it, I don't know if you could hear, but also my baby's screaming. I've had many sleepless nights thinking about this. I'm hoping I'll be able to meet the requirement, but I don't know if I can be. And I don't know, based on this one requirement, I don't know if I can get a new visa. And if I can't, that means I'll be separated from my baby for indefinitely, which is my worst fear, my absolute worst fear. So I'm trying not to think about it too much and enjoy the time I have with him in case it is taken away. But that is one of the scariest things. I think I don't want to get into politics too much, but it is a reflection of what's going on in the world right now. A lot of immigrants are unfairly taken away from their families, and I feel like people they don't have the sympathy for them. Until it happens to you, I don't think they can put themselves in their shoes and understand what it feels like. I mean, for myself, if I don't have a visa, I'll know where my baby is. He'll be with his dad. I'll still be able to contact him. That's so much better than all these other people who are taken away from their families, have no means of contact, no way to tell. They have nothing. They're separated from everyone and everything they know. They have no way to communicate with anyone. They don't know what's going on. Like, the fear they must have, and the fact that people can't understand that and see that that's one of the, I mean, obviously there's war going on, and and that's the same thing of like your child being taken away from you and not knowing they're safe. Like, this is, I don't want to get into it because I'll get emotional, but that's like everything that's going on in the world is another thing where I'm like, what can I do? Because unfortunately, though I don't have the equipment to stop this, to stop anything. All we can do is make small impacts, right? So that's composting, being vegetarian, making sure I know who my dollar is supporting or pound is supporting, and if I have spare means, donating it to sources I believe in, making sure my MPs and government know where my voice that my voice matters and this is what I believe in. But becoming a parent, it's really opened my eyes, and I can't imagine what so many people are going through, and I want to remind myself of how grateful and privileged I am. I think it's really easy to have woe me moments because of my life. I mean, with the visa, it's really easy to be like, other people don't have to worry about this, and I get in my head about that. But at the same time, other people don't get to worry about that, if that makes sense. They don't get to be like, oh, their kids are taken away from them like that for no reason, just because the government wants to, which is so messed up. But I don't want to be going on a tangent. It's just started myself off, got my soapbox, started myself off on something. But yeah, finished 2025. I'm really proud of myself, and 2025 will always have a place in my heart because it is my baby's birth year. I became a mom, my partner became a dad, and it is absolutely amazing. In 2026, I just want to continue to try my best and improve myself in ways that I can. And I'm wishing you that you had an amazing 2025. And I also am hoping that your 2026 adventures are absolutely beautiful and lovely. If you have any patterns that you want to make that I also want to make, let me know. Maybe we can buddy knit. I've never buddy make because it might be crocheting as well. I've never had a buddy make before, and that seems really fun. And if there's any patterns that I have made that you want information about or whatnot, I love chatting, as you can tell. I'm a chit chatter. So if you need help or feedback about anything, if you're stuck in a pattern, I can't promise you that I'll be able to help, but I can talk to you about it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and listening to me babble. This is a different type of format than I usually do. Yeah, diolch! Thank you so much.